a Juilliard teacher. I instantly remember the first audition to that school, my grandfather's concerns, the rejection letter. I went home and I told my mom in an agitated voice, just forget it. She studies with a Juilliard teacher, okay? A Juilliard teacher. There's no way. Forget it. Forget it. My mom was silent for once. She went to cook for dinner. For a second there, I thought I saw a concerned, nervous look on her face too. During dinner, finally she spoke up again. Well, I still want you to be her friend and learn from her and then blah, 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 blah. I was getting frustrated and said, can you just let me get through high school like everybody else? You know, like a normal person, right? Homework, school, homework, get diploma, get job. And we argued a bit, and then the phone rang. Dad went to pick it up like he always does. He said, hello? Oh, okay. And then he turned to me and said, it's for you. I was like, huh? Who would call me? Mom looked surprised as well. I picked up the phone and I said, hello. It was Michelle. She said, hi, this is Michelle. I got you an appointment. Are you free Saturday at noon? I was silent. She waited and said, hello, you there? I said, yes. Hold on, okay? Mom and Dad was staring at me. My brother was continuing eating food. I said, Michelle got me an appointment. Mom said, what appointment? I said, I gave her my phone number. My mom realized what had happened, thought for a second, and then frantically nodded her head. So I turned around to the phone, and it's one of those big wall mount phones. I told Michelle, yes, I am free. She said, okay, I will have to sign you in. Meet me in the lobby at 11:45. I said, okay. She said goodbye and hung up. It all happened really fast. I felt unbelievably nervous after the call because what did I just get myself into? You know, I didn't even have a piece to play. I haven't touched Chopin Polonaise ever since LaGuardia audition. Because as soon as the audition is done, I was so sick and tired of that piece. 6 months in it, right? I left it alone and I started working on the easy stuff again. I found the score and started playing it. Thank goodness the piece came back after 3 hours the next day. If I haven't spent 6 months on it, I don't think it would have came back that quick. But anyway, Friday after class, I went to Michelle and asked her about her teacher. Is Catherine nice? Does she take beginners? The look on her face when I said that was just pure surprise. You're not a beginner, are you? I said, no, I'm gonna play Chopin Polonaise for her. Oh, okay. Whew. Gosh, if you were a beginner, I wouldn't even talk to her. I said, hey, so that perfect pitch thing, how did you learn that? She said, I was born with it. I couldn't believe that. What? Can people just be born with stuff? So I asked her more questions. We got to the subway after class. This is after class, violin class. And she is taking the same train. Wow, we rode together. She got off the stop right before mine, and an hour later, right before she left, she said, see you tomorrow. During the train ride, I found out that she was a full scholarship student recruited and sponsored to attend Juilliard because she won multiple competitions before she was even 9. I never heard such things, but she tell it like it's a normal thing. She did not tell me these things in a show-off attitude. She's totally unaware of her accomplishments. At least it seemed like it. She was just a quiet, nerdy personality. The intimidation I felt was totally one-sided. I practiced extra hard Friday night and Saturday morning. The day arrived, Saturday. I stood outside Juilliard door. I arrived a little early. Then I saw her walking down the steps on the red carpet. Yes, the carpet was red. Came out and greeted me, signed her name, and I signed mine as guest. She placed her ID card on the turnstile, like, the ones you see in the subways. Yeah, it was super cool, okay? It clicked, she walked through, and I had to go through the side door. It was unlocked by the security guard. We went up to the 5th floor, and I met with her teacher. She was a tiny old lady with many wrinkles and a slight hunchback. When she smiled, her eyes smiled too. Her voice was tiny too. She said, hello, young man, how are you? I'm fine, how are you? So your mom wanted you to get better, huh? You met my dear student Michelle, and now here you are. I said, yes, I want to better my skills. Great, what piece are you playing for me? I said, Chopin Military Polonaise. She looked at me for a brief moment, and then said, well, okay, there's the piano, whenever you're ready. So I played it as, quote unquote, as musical as I can. She heard the entire thing. After I was done, she walked over to her desk, took out a book, looked through it, and said, let's see here. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry to say this, but I really don't see an opening, in my schedule. But thank you for coming out to see me. I just looked at her. I looked at Michelle. Michelle had her head down. I stood there. I didn't know what to do. Then Catherine finally spoke. I like the fact that you want to get better. Came all the way from Queens, and I'll tell you what, why don't you follow me? We walked across the hallway. She knocked on a door. Right? Juilliard had black doors with white walls. To me, that was an intimidating color. Gosh, with the red carpet in the lobby. She opened the door a bit and said, "Oh, Mr. Faber." "Yes," says the voice inside. "What can I do for you, Catherine?" "Oh, I just have a young man here." She never walked inside, by the way. I just have a young man here who would like to play something for you. You know, just get a second opinion. What do you think? You got time? I'm on my lunch break. Bring him in." She looked at me and said, "Go ahead, young man, and good luck." She turned around and walked away. Now, Michelle did not go with her. All right. She had to come in and see how this plays out. She followed me into Mr. Faber's classroom. She asked him if she can listen as well. He greeted me and says, "Hello, what's your name?" I told him my name. And then he said, "What do you want to play for me?" I said, "The Chopin Polonaise." Okay. The way he looked at me, it was a little funny. I played for him. It came out actually worse because I was not happy. Mr. Faber did not say anything for the longest 5 seconds. Michelle and I just stood there. Then he asked me, "Are you Catherine's student? What's going on here? What's wrong with my playing?" I was thinking that. I said, "No, I'm not her student." "Interesting. Tell me more." So I told him the story of hearing Michelle play and how amazing it was, and my mom requested that I talk with her, and Mr. Faber listened. He asked me, "So who taught you this piece?" I said, "Well, the thing is, I watched Rubinstein and I learned it myself to get into LaGuardia because I had to." My teacher thought it was way above my level, and Mr. Faber cut in and he said, what level is that?" I said, "Well, around grade 6. "Oh, interesting. What else can you play for me then?" I said, I only prepared this one piece." He asked, "What's in your repertoire list?" Now that made me nervous, but I had to say something, so I said, Clementi Sonatinas, for Elise, Mozart Sonata in C, Turkish March, Bach, 2-part inventions. He stopped me and said, "Okay, never mind, you don't need to play those for me. How long did it take you to learn this Chopin piece?" I said, 6 months, but that's because I had no help and I had to do it in secret. My voice went up a little bit because now I'm feeling, very flustered. Somehow he smiled at that, and I thought to myself, "Oh, I don't think that's funny." I was about to, my eyes started to water a little bit. But then he said in a loud-ish voice, "I think you're talented. I will take you as my student." I was like, "What?" I looked at Michelle and she was staring at Faber. He then said, "Oh, well, go home and tell your mom I charge $120 an hour, but I will give you scholarship up front. Make sure you use the word scholarship, okay? Make sure you tell her that. $80 it is." I swallowed really hard. Wow, that is expensive. He got up, he took out a piece of paper and wrote on it. He handed me the paper and said, "Okay, now go and get these books at the Juilliard bookstore." He also walked over to the piano and played a few exercises that he wanted me to learn before the lesson. "Before you come to lesson, would you please have exercises 1 through 10 learned?" It's like he's already teaching me or something. Anyway, the book was Philippe Exercises for Fingers. A very good book, by the way. A Czerny book, and the whole collection of Beethoven sonatas. He told me, "I am open Fridays at 4 p.m. Just, walk around the park after school, and then come to class. Here's my studio address and phone number. Call me when you're ready." I said, "Well, I will have to tell my parents." He said, "Great, okay, off you go. My next student is here, I think." As I was leaving, he said, "Don't forget to tell them I'm offering you scholarship up front." As we exited, another student was waiting outside. As soon as the door closed, Michelle finally spoke. And she said, "I can't believe what just happened." "Michelle, so what in the world is wrong with my playing?" She said, "Your rhythm and interpretation just seems so unnatural." All right. Because of that, there's no way you could have been a student of any of the teachers here. She continued, Now I know why. You taught it to yourself by watching a movie." And then to make matters worse, she said, "Do you really only know sonatinas and Fur-Elise and stuff like that?" I nodded. I did not look at her. I just nodded. As we were walking down the hall, I asked her, so where's this Juilliard bookstore? She showed it to me. A small little store. Oh, by the way, it's a lot bigger now. She even helped me find the books. I opened the books. I looked at it, put it right back, said goodbye to Michelle, and went home, wondering how I can break the bad news.